Good morning, everyone. How are you? Oh, it says my connection is weak, and I hate that because I'm right here where I need to be. All right. Oh, that's better. Thank you, Lord. I appreciate you this morning, sir. Good morning, everybody. Hi, social attraction. What's up, Patrice? Good morning. Good morning. I know this is like day 4. I can't believe I just went to bed like 50 minutes ago. So again, I have the red eyes to match. Well, to match my lipstick. Yeah, that's it. Yesterday I was matching my top. Thank you for inviting followers. Thank you for the love and thank you for the hearts today. Good morning, you guys. Very blessed this morning and just happy to be alive. So I'm not going to complain about the lack of sleep because when I get through talking to y'all, guess where I'm going? Anyway, welcome to the 4th episode of Word of the Day on the Embrace Formula channel. So I am just so happy. I'm excited. Yesterday's word, empathy, left me feeling some kind of way. I thought about the word all day yesterday. So our first word was love on Sunday. And then Tuesday was energy. Yesterday was empathy. So I'm excited to see what today's word is going to be. But I am Darissa. I am the CEO and founder of God's Chosen Vessels. And I am also the creator of the Embrace Formula. And I'm just happy to be here. So thank you for joining me for the word of the day on here on Embrace TV. This is not intended to take the place of your daily devotional, your time with the Lord, but this is just something that I wanted to do. I like to journal. I started journaling when I was like 11, 12, 13 years old. I have about 30 something journals. I'm 52. I've been journaling for quite a while. And it's interesting to go back and look at things. So I found that there's these word of the day journals where you can basically purchase them, and it has it's just like a prompt of one word, and that's what you start. For people who don't really know what to write about, you use that word to get you started, to kind of kickstart things. So I said, well, that would be kind of cool to do as a daily exercise, but we will keep the thought or the mental journaling. And those of you who don't want to actually write it down in a journal, if you don't journal, you can always text the word of the day to yourself and then think about it later and come up with your own. And I've also provided a place on Facebook. You can find the Embrace Formula. It's an actual not a group, but a page. And I actually post the word of the day. And so you can put your thoughts there if you like. So anyway, this is just to kind of put you in a positive state of mind, because we're only going to think about positive things and wonderful things and thankful things and things that put us in a grateful mood. So I'm going to pick the word of the day. And there's about 200 words in here. So I have to add more because we need at least 365. And this is something I want to do every single day, 7 o'clock my time. I'm in California. So Pacific time, I'll meet you right here for our word of the day. If you have suggestions for the word of the day, go ahead to the page and put it in the comments and I'll add it. That would be kind of cool too. So our word of the day. Good morning, Muslim Beck Roxmo. Okay, this is your first time on Periscope. I welcome you today. Thank you for the love and the hearts, and thank you for sharing. Our word of the day is forgiveness. That's a good word. I like forgiveness. That was kind of easy. I know my first thought. I'm supposed to go with my first thought. My first thought about forgiveness is and I've heard so many people say this, from Tyler Perry to Oprah to Bishop Jakes to Joel Osteen. I think I've heard Pastor Osteen say it. And so many people, that forgiveness is really not about the other person. It's really for you. And so that's probably something we've all heard, because I've heard so many people say that over the years. What is my lipstick doing here? Anyway, I've heard so many people say that over the years. So that one is probably kind of a given thing. And I think, what I get from that is, forgiveness is, it's, you really want to let go of things. And so that's kind of obvious. But being a caregiver, I want to take a different approach. I want to talk about forgiveness, not for others, but for yourself. As a caregiver, there are many times that opportunity arises. And I say the opportunity, because it happens so many times that you feel like maybe you're not equipped or adequate enough to do the job that you have been called to do. Taking care of a loved one, taking care of an aging or ailing parent. No one, it's kind of like having children. Nobody really writes a manual on this thing and says this is exactly what you're supposed to do, because every person's situation is different. So even if you find those who are in similar situations as yours, they can give you advice, but you still have to kind of tailor it to fit your situation with your loved one. And there are plenty of times when you make mistakes because you're human. I mean, it is what it is, you know. You'll make a mistake or two. I remember when Mom first started showing signs of forgetfulness, and just, you know, more than that, just things just weren't right. I know my mother, you know, things just weren't right. And you sometimes might not really make excuses, but you would just put up, nah, okay, maybe it's just her getting older. You know, you really don't know what to do with that little piece of information. And so in a sense, you might tend to put it off a little bit. Or you might know that there's a problem for sure, and in your journey of taking care of and watching over that person, you might misjudge some things and feel bad about it afterwards. Hey Patrice, thank you for joining again. You know, and you feel bad about that thing. We're talking, the word of the day is forgiveness, and the obvious is, you know, that we are to forgive others. You know, I think about the Lord, you know, forgives us over and over and over and over again. There is no limit to how many times he will forgive us. But being a caregiver, I'm taking another approach to the word, and I'm talking about how as caregivers we aren't perfect. Nobody gives us a manual on this thing. You just kind of have to feel your way through, kind of like raising children. You know, every situation is different, and you're going to make mistakes. So I say that we have to learn to forgive ourselves for sometimes coming up short. Because when we do come up short, it's not because of our lack of compassion or our lack of empathy, going back to yesterday's word, or anything like that. It's because we're human. We're human, and we're dealing with another human being whose situation might be different from someone else's, or something else we've observed, or from the advice that someone has given us who's in a similar situation. And we're just trying to make our way, and then we're praying about it, and we're trying to use discernment and do what we think we're being told. We're human. We make mistakes, you know. And the thing is, you're making the mistake with the intent of loving that person. So you have to get to the point as a caregiver that you show yourself some slack, because everything's not going to be perfect. I had to learn this early in this journey of mine, because I am very much an A-type personality. I'm that it girl. I don't feel like describing to you what I need, because by the time I describe it to you, I could have done it 5 times and done it correctly. You know that. So I'm in my so-called perfection. There was plenty of times that I made mistakes because I just didn't ask anybody. When I could have just opened my mouth and asked somebody a question or two, I could have avoided a couple of things that would have saved. Thank God it didn't cause any harm or bring any harm to my mother. But I see where there's some things that I could have done so much differently, because I could have just asked people. I have people around me that have parents who have had Alzheimer's, and they've been the sole caregiver. So it's not like I didn't have anybody to go to. And so when I made these mistakes, I really felt bad about it. I mean, I carried that thing like a load, because how could I do that to my mother? Oh my God. Oh my God. This could have happened. Oh, and this, and just, I really put myself through the ringer. And I had to get to the point. In fact, it was the advice of another sister who told me, you have to let that go and you have to forgive yourself for making that mistake because you just didn't know. And so we have to show ourselves a little mercy, just like we're called to show another person mercy and to show them some grace and some forgiveness. We have to do that for ourselves. And so that I know that's probably a different approach to the word. But I think in a lot of cases, and like I said, I'm using the caregiver example because that is a big part of who I am and a big part of my world. And so that's I want to share that lesson with you. And of course, we, especially as believers, but we are all called to forgive one another, just like He forgives us over and over and over again. What is that? I think I'm thinking, thank you, Lord, for second chances, but I think I'm on chance number 5,362 million or something. But who's counting, right? Who's counting? So that's what we're called. You're going about your business, forgiving. Forgive yourself too. Cut yourself aside. Especially if you ask Him to forgive, He's forgiven you. Then who the heck are you to walk around holding a grudge against you? You know what I'm saying? Let it go. Let it go. Just let it go. And do better. And just do better. That's all you can do. That's all you can do. So that's our word of the day. I like that word. That's a sweet word. I love forgiveness. Forgive yourself. Forgive others. And keep it moving. So I thank you guys for joining me today. Episode 4 has been real. I'm really liking this, getting up, even with the lack of sleep. I'm liking this. This is a part of my world, and I hope you make it a part of yours too. I really do. And we're gonna continue to think. Thank you, my dear. Thank you, Patrice. Thank you for the heart. This is my Super Soul sisters on here with me, hanging tough. Thank you for sharing, and thank you for all of your support. I appreciate you. Love you, girl. So you guys remember to embrace your life and embrace your purpose. Cherish the time that He's given you. He's opened your eyes another day. So that means He's given you another chance to get it right. Take advantage of it. Okay, y'all be blessed. Be blessed. Love you. Peace.